And I have a great co-host with me.
Yes, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Good? Excellent. My name is Dave Zyron. I'm a sports writer and a radio host myself at Sirius XM.
This couldn't have happened at a better time. With Father's Day this coming Sunday, this is the ideal platform for us to embrace the importance of fatherhood, to recognize what fatherhood is, to understand the challenges of what lies within fatherhood, and of course to, I guess, address certain issues that might be of concern to you as well.
Absolutely. I've got two little ones myself, ages 7 and 4. My 7-year-old daughter knows everything. My 4-year-old son thinks he knows a lot more than he does and is a constant challenge. But that's part of what we're here to talk about, the ups and downs of what it means to be a father, but also what it is in our society that can make it difficult sometimes to keep a family together. We're going to be talking about all of these issues here tonight.
You know, I'm probably the oddest one among the distinguished panel because I am not a father and I don't have I've never been married. So this
ladies?
is going to come from a different perspective for me. So I think diversity is key because we'll cover the spectrum across the board. So we know that you'll definitely enjoy yourself. But Dave, before we get started, before we kind of get the program started, I just want to give a special thanks to the Crenshaw Christian Center East, in particular. Especially Pastor Jack Wilkins, and of course the First Lady, the administrators. Wonderful. Uncle Balti, thank you so much for all your help, and I appreciate it. We thought, and Brother ETAN thought it would be a great idea to start this very lightly, but by giving you some wonderful inspiration and some wonderful upliftment at the same time. So without further ado, we'd like to introduce the first poet to come your way. This gentleman has been a 3-time Apollo champion. He's also a workshop facilitator for at-risk youth, and he's assisted youth in publishing their novels as well when it comes to poetry. He's a alum of Howard University. Would you please give a wonderful, thunderous welcome to poet Messiah Ramasoon.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Good evening. How y'all doing? Okay, so like the brother said, my name is Messiah Ramkisoon. I'm going to open up with a poem. Is that okay? This poem is entitled Order of Removal, and the title was inspired by the work I've been doing. I recently relocated to New York City, but I've been working with young men in juvenile jail in D.C. as a performing poet, and it was inspired by the experiences that I encountered working with them. Order of removal. Say brothers get caught up for the cheese like a trapped mouse. At 15, he saw his first trap house. At 16, he pulled his first trap out. No home, he found shelter in juvie prisons. D.C. jail, Cheltenham, and New Beginnings. Nubians who never knew what royalty felt like. Never wore his belt tight, so besides his pants, his gun was all he held tight. Life on hold, strong soul who became weak for his wants. I see him once a week, he been sitting for months. I go in to do my poetry workshop. The potency his words got can't be confined by all the police the world got. He told me he work out, his pop's a boxer, pictures of Pacquiao on his wall. Just like him, he's powerful but small. How is a social worker supposed to nurture a child's dead spirit? Early murder, court order, life a living abortion, born from holy water like the river of Jordan. Now a cash cow to a prison who won't give him a portion. I tell him, hold his head. Without the army, he's a soldier. At times, his arms get too heavy for his shoulder. The burden his mom's carried like a boulder. Every day he's getting older. Just had a birthday. Group programs, he got an A on the survey. Never been dumb, though his literacy level is below sea level. Caught up in the beast, the D-Evil. Eyes on fire beneath the tea kettle. Now, he's 18. Release date dreams. It's about time. Thought he was free till the gatekeepers gave him adult time. When will the bulb shine in this dark hour? In his bloodline is star power. No BET, a smart scholar with no GED, intellects, young Malcolm X and the feds. Like FedEx mail, they shipped him to federal jail, off to Michigan. Family can't afford to visit him. Recidivism in the prison system is the heartbeat of Wall Street. Private jails create profit sales. Every time you hear the bells on the clock, black males are the stock, like slaves on the dock. Now, check this. Prison complexes in Texas decreased because of less entries, more exits. The state lost money, so what's next is go after the Mexicans, immigrants altogether. Arrest the guilty and innocent altogether. More cellmates to fill up more bed space. If not, they lose money, more dead weight. It's called capitalism. That's why we face capital punishment 40 years after imprisoned. Verizon stocks rising from collect calls, leeching the life behind these dead walls in this game of debts and debtors. Some met some mentors, men torn from the thorns of crooked judges, nickels a day for cooking lunches, hundreds of push-ups, hooks and punches, abundance of prayers and books from pundits keep his mind clear. Renewal, seeking renewal in cuffs. He's a jewel in the rough, from the streets where life beyond 18 is iffy. More black men in jail than slaves in 1850. Now seriously, look in the mirror, see, and tell me that's not a conspiracy. Cocaine, the color of white supremacy, while crack rock equals black when the latch lock. It's frightening. White men doing powder, come home in an hour. Black man rocking a hard place, turn bass into hard rock, sit in San Quentin in Comstock. Every night, he writes from a lonely cell like Etheridge Knight, the poet who married Sonia Sanchez before the death of his life. My brother Troy did 11, got his life right, now he's a legend, pledging to elevate the state of his brethren. My cousin is locked down right now, doing beyond 40, talking like he'd be home shortly. That strength at its best, a weight no man can bench press. Not weight as in lifting bars and dumbbell, but weight as in patience living behind bars in some cell. Compelled to kneel, seeking the Lord for approval, keeping it real. He swore to be truthful. Your Honor, will you appeal this order of removal? Order of removal. Thank you.
Messiah. Messiah. Coming soon.
Our next poet is more than just a poet. He's also an actor. We are honored to have him here today. Please give a warm round of applause for Mr. Julian Thomas.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. The poem that I wanted to share with you all today is actually one of the poems I had that ETAN published in his book. And it's actually a poem that I wrote about our mother. And that's one of the things that, you know, I always hate to hear when people say that a single woman can't raise a real man. And so, just happy to be able to share this poem with you. It's titled, It's a New Dawn, It's a New Day. It must have been one of those nights. It must have been one of those jazzy kinds of nights, when the sidewalk sweats with the anxious heartbeat of a sultry neighborhood, a no crystal stair kind of neighborhood, where the brownstones are resigned to their joy in secret, submitting to their lot like the innocent without pardon. Proud brown Harlem. Yeah, it had to be one of those nights. One of those electric funky nights where the barrio forgets about the weekday's commute and the street lamps flicker a syncopated tune. When the 6 train moves with the exhale of the working class, the sway of lavender relax, like a Coltrane giant step into a steamy bathtub soaked in Epsom foot powder, enough to handle the work of the spirit and the work of the field. One of those lazy sunset nights where the East River sparkles with an amber glow, and the birds are flying high, and the breeze is drifting by, and you know how I feel. That is how I picture you. Aquarian queen in a concrete jungle, strolling the wisdom of the ages in B flat, shielding me with favor earned decades before I was a twinkle in your eye or a thought beneath your hat. The teacher who walks in the shadow of the garden gives not of her knowledge, but rather of her passion for learning, her thirst for peace. She brings inspiration to manic young minds like good tidings from the East, soothing a troubled past with freshly carved hope for a sturdier future, sculpting foundation like granite rock from quicksand. Plan your work, work your plan. Aquarian queen in a valley of thickets and thorns, I would give to you the world on a silver platter, yet still it would not be enough. It was you who taught me how to treat every soul with respect and concern, whether I grew up to be the prince or the healer, the pastor or the politician. It was you who taught me how to give without want in return, to use my gifts, not for the sake of acclaim, but for the chance to be a lighthouse in the dark of the storm. It was you who taught me how to lead. It was you who taught me how to live by the Spirit, trusting discernment, to leave the salty chaff and take only the nourishing grain. It was you who taught me how to love without keeping score, to be a protector and a pillar of strength. We've never spoken of these things, yet you've shown me all the same. It's in the way that you walk into a crowded room with noble stature and discreet nobility. It's in the way that you lead a classroom with honest patience and tolerance that is never condescending. It's in the lift of your chin, the resolve in your eyes, the insight in your voice, and the straightness of a spine that would never cower to unworthy authority. The philosopher may teach to you the science of thought, but he cannot give you the wisdom nor the strength to do what is right. A master architect may design for you the most fabulous house of all your dreams, but he cannot make for you a loving home. The preacher can describe to you the depths and wonders of Scripture, but he cannot enter them into your heart, nor give to you the peace that passes understanding. Rest assured, you've done your job and done it well. I pray no misgivings of what-ifs or would-haves to ever cross your thoughts by day, nor trouble you by night. It's my turn to shoulder the burdens and lead the people. I will pick up the torch and carry it home. Thank you.
Julian Thomas. Just found out that Julian will be a part of the Oprah Network in a production called Who's Next to Blow. So look out for him on that, and also look out for a soon-to-be-released independent film called Year After Infection. So he's doing some big things aside from your poetry. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. One last poet that we'd like to present to you, who is truly no stranger to you. He is truly a Grammy Award-winning HBO deaf poet. Would you please give a thunderous applause for Brother Jay Ivey?
How are you? Y'all feeling good? You're looking good, so you should be feeling good. My name is Jay Ivey. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Hey, what's Chi-Town in the building? And a lot of young black boys growing up in America, my father, he was there, and then at one point in my life, he wasn't. And I got to this point in my life where being a poet, writing is very therapeutic, and I got to this point in my life that I just really needed to get it out because I felt that the pain was holding me back from where I wanted to go in life. And I have a very strong theory that if you don't deal with your emotions, one day your emotions will deal with you. You know, so for me, the only way to get this weight off my shoulder was to write about it. So I wrote this poem, and it's titled Dear Father, which is also in Fatherhood. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish you could have seen how your baby boy flow. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish that you didn't have to go. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. One show. Dear Dad, these words are being written and spoken because my heart and soul feel broken. I laugh to keep from crying, but I still haven't healed after all of the years of my goofiness and joking. You got me open, hoping this ill feeling will pass, won't last. I wear a mask, my peace won't ask for the truth. Truthfully speaking, the truth hurts, but I'm beyond hurting. I'm in pain. Why does it hurt so much? I find myself fighting with myself every day to remain sane. My peeps think I changed, maybe tripping off my fame, but I'm still the same old James. I know it's a shame I don't come around as much, but I want them to see me acting strange. I don't want them to feel one drop my rain, but I can't seem to get these feelings to stop. I can't get these thoughts on my brain. When I really need to reach out for your dad and touch your hand, I can't believe you're out of range. I'm starving for your love, and I'm begging, please ease the crave. When I was little, I thought you left because I wouldn't behave. Later on in life, I found out that it was the cane as well as other things, and with all the scars, it was hard, but I learned to forgive and forgave. I forgave for missing my basketball games and the touchdowns I scored at the football games. I forgave for coming home high and drunk wrestling with my mother going insane. I forgave for missing all of my track meets and not being there to greet all the pretty girls that I wanted you to meet. I forgave for missing my birthdays and graduations and not being there when I needed advice in certain situations. I forgave despite the fights and tears for all the years lost, wondering if I was loved. Sometimes all I needed was a call and a hug. I mean, understand that people break up and don't make up and some relationships don't last forever, but why weren't we together? Mom could have found a new man, but where was I gonna find a new dad? Looking back, I wish I would have begged me, pleading my case, because I felt like I didn't matter, like I was deleted and erased. I would cry, still cry so much I get headaches. I try to get you on my mind, but I can't get you off of my face. I see you every time I see me, and I can't do nothing but ask God to bless me, expand my territory, place his hands on me, keep evil far away from me. I asked him to protect me like I wanted you to protect me from the bullies and the police. Now to protect my soul, I write poetry and release. And some say I'm a beast, but I'm just trying to find peace so I can pick up the pieces of me that fall apart. I shopped all up for love. I ended up with a lot of good items in my cart that help me pull out the dart and help me get out the dark, one being my art. But along the way, all of my decisions weren't so smart because my love was amputated. My life became complicated. And my family, well, Dad, I don't know if you knew or not, but my sweet family became dysfunctional. I mean, I remember hiding under the dining room table when you and Mom would fight. I remember dishes, pots, and pans being put in flight. I remember the hole that you punched in the wall. I remember when Mom calls and work and told not to let you in, and you broke in, told Mama get y'all. I remember the alcohol and the smoke and going to the bathroom every 5 minutes so I wouldn't choke. I remember when you called me out the blue and told me I had a brother that died that I never knew. I remember when you snatched my training wheels off my little orange bike and making me ride when I was only 2. I remember when you pushed Mom, she broke her ankle. I remember sitting there thinking, how could you do this to such a beautiful angel? I remember Mom waking us up in the middle of the night saying, shh, Jimmy, be quiet. Put some clothes in a jewels bag. We going to Grandma's, and if your father come up to your school, don't tell him where we'd be. I remember spending Christmas at Grandma's playing with my Stretch Armstrong thinking, man, this ain't my house. I wonder how Santa Claus found me. I remember your stinky feet. I remember all that pepper that you put in those ghetto meals you would fix for us to eat. I remember listening to you on the radio, WVON, before I would go to school. I remember the cars and planes you make and all the kids on the block thought that my dad was so cool. I remember when you ran down the car and I was thinking, man, Dad's fast. I remember how you would curl your mustache. I remember the past. I remember the good and the bad. I remember thinking this is love false. I remember moving to the birds, my boys, to place my love that was lost. And they gonna make me laugh and giggle. And my boy even taught me how to dribble so I could make the team, and I did. I thought that I would die without you, but Ron, Drake, Ike, Eric, and Todd made sure that I lived and was never sad. They even gave me their dads. Mr. Kemp, Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Cross, Mr. Price became my dads, my cool daddies. But the little boy in me still wants his daddy badly. I feel like a scared little boy, afraid to become a man, but I think I'm ready. I think it's time. I think it's time to shine and get mine. I think it's time to shine and get mine so I can ease my mind, let my soul climb. I think it's time to stand as a man on my own too, just like you used to do before those demons started hunting you. Because all I want to do is to make you on my proud. Now, one if you are, and one if you know, and one if you know that God gave me a gift, and one if you know about the spirits that I lift, and one if you know I touch people with my words, and one if you know I inspire actions with my verbs, and one if you know that your baby boy in the show that aired for me to see on HBO, and that hard New York crowd that I didn't even know actually gave me a standing no. I know you're proud. I know you are, because I'm be the best just like you want to be. Watch and see, and just in case you can't, I'm screaming so loud that I shake the clouds and move them out the way of my sunshine, because that's what you are, Dad. James Ivy Richardson Sr., do you hear me? You are my sunshine. That's why I forgave you, because my love for you is still the same. It may have gone through a transformation, but it never really changed. So I swear on my mama and on my name, I'm going to stop this rain, conquer this pain, make sure that you did not die in vain. And when I get to heaven, and when I get to heaven, I'm going to jump in your arms. We go kick back like when I was little and watch the Bears game. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish you could have seen how your baby boy flow. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish that you didn't have to go. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. Thank you.
Yep. Jay Ivy. So let's give it up for all the poets one more time. Brother Jay Ivy, Julian Thomas, Messiah Ramasoon. Hey, you know, Dave, that couldn't have been a better toss-up to what we're about to get into, because it's about that time for us to deal with our emotions. Exactly. And we have such a distinguished panel of gentlemen from all walks of life that's going to disperse some information. And I'm sure maybe if time permits tonight, but before it's all over, they might do a Q&A. So throughout the course of the panel, please, if you have a pen and paper, just jot down anything that you might want to ask or address the panel about a particular topic or a particular area of concern, so that way they can be addressed to you personally before we get out of here. And that's, of course, time permitting. My sister station, when I was working with KISS FM, is Hot 97. And in talking to these young cats, you know, it's amazing how they say, where did hip-hop begin? African Bambaataa. To them, that's where hip-hop began. But what they may not know is that African Bambaataa was influenced as well. And we're very privileged to have a gentleman of the last poets, the original. So please give a wonderful, thunderous applause to Obi Odun of the Last Poets.
Our next panelist is known most as being the executive director of the NBA Players Association, but if you know anything about his life, his history, his career, that spans from Howard University in the late 1960s in Washington, D.C., to being part of some of the most explosive trials on the West Coast as an attorney, to being a manager for MC Hammer back when Hammer had his money. See, Hammer shouldn't have gotten rid of him, but no, I'm just kidding. But he's just an amazing person with an amazing history and an amazing perspective. His name is Billy Hunter.
Yes, sir. Billy's always carrying a big bag. I wonder what's in it. Always a big bag. This next young man is the extension of a legendary Latin artist who we've grown to love and appreciate and highly admire. Would you please give a wonderful round of applause for Tito Puente Jr.
And we're here tonight talking about culture and the way culture shapes our attitudes and how that then in turn shapes our families. And there are a few more influential cultural institutions in our society than what's known as the worldwide leader, ESPN. And our next panelist is one of the great voices and speakers and presences on the worldwide leader, the four-letter network. His name is Jorge Andrés.
And last but truly not least, the purpose, the young man who brought us all together tonight because he felt, and I'm so glad he felt this within his heart and within his spirit, to present and construct a platform of this magnitude. And it couldn't have happened, like I said, at a better time, right before Father's Day. This gentleman is a published poet. He's a veteran of 10 plus years in the NBA, with a wonderful, impressive track record from the Wizards to the Hawks, OKC, just to name a few. Off the court, our brother ETAN has always taken an interest in helping the young men in prisons and juvenile centers all over D.C. and even in Oklahoma. He was recently asked by the White House to join President Obama, responsible for Fatherhood and Health Families Task Force. And he obviously, humbly accepted that mission. And his mission is to continue to bring awareness of the critical impact of fathers in children's lives and to create programs and to help fathers more easily do their jobs. Without further ado, the author of Fatherhood. Please give a thunderous round of applause to Brother ETAN Thomas.
Yeah, baby.
So, gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking out your personal time to be with us tonight to talk about fatherhood. And I'll share my story before I open it up to the panel. As I mentioned to Dave and to the audience prior to you gentlemen coming out, unfortunately, I stand on the opposite end of everything. I'm not a father, and I don't have any children. But there was a part of my life that, in growing up, I mean, the wonderful thing about the family structure back in the day was the infrastructure was strong. The grandparents were there. If you had brothers, they were there. So you had some form of identity of a male figure, or you attached yourself to someone in the public eye who you felt was leading a positive life, and you tried to model your life after theirs. Again, the absence of father in my family was unfortunately like many that are affected today. My brothers and I, we grew up fatherless. So to start our discussion and talking about fatherhood today, I want each of you, when you speak, and we can start with you, Brother ETAN, I want you to tell everyone